What's up? It's your boy Carcino here for the Nate Jones story. There's a lot of things you guys didn't know about boxing back in the day. Lamon Brewster, who ended up becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, these opportunities was once given to Nate Jones. Nate Jones beat him in the amateur, in the trials to go to the Olympics. And this was a back and forth between the two. I think they fought as a pro, and he beat Nate as a pro. I think that was the only time Nate ever been knocked out in a fight, if I believe my memory serves me well. But I do remember this fight because everybody was rooting for Nate to make it from the city. We wanted him to make it and get to go in there and win the gold medal for the Olympics. Back then, that's stuff really meant something. It's heavy. And, it still holds precedence because that was giving people hope. Somebody you knew around the way is going to do big things. When we were younger kids, we didn't think that you got to be from California somewhere for that to happen. But no. In reality, these things can happen to you in a blink of an eye. So let's look back on that night and go through the bout.
Okay, Pat, we have a heavyweight battle ready to go here. First of two semifinals, Nate Jones and Lamon Brewster at 201 pounds limit. Each came in at an even 200. Brewster, 22 years of age, from Los Angeles, California. He is in the blue headgear with the red uniform. And Nate Jones in blue uniform with red headgear. And Nate Jones, a 22-year-old, also from Chicago, Illinois, went to Lincoln Park High School. Lamon Brewster, Washington High School, Indiana. First in the Pan American trials this year was Brewster, and won the U.S. championships as well, defeating Raynon Woods in the final. Third place finisher in the U.S. Nationals a year ago. For Nate Jones, he is the National Golden Glove champion this year, defeating David Washington in the championship match, and was stopped by Raman Green at the U.S. championships this year.
And Tim Jones told us that he was going to use a lot of lateral movement, a lot of boxing ability to try to win this fight from Brewster. But so far, he's standing flat-footed, and so is Brewster. Both guys trying to land the one big one, which is not the amateur style.
Brewster in red, Jones in blue. Lamon Brewster admires heavyweight, what he calls technicians, Joe Louis, Joe Frazier, and Muhammad Ali, but says that the main man in boxing for him has always been Marvin Hagler. Gave no excuses, and he was a warrior. Also believes that the spirit controls his mind, and the mind controls the body. And he has a strong spirit of war, he says. Confident about being on the Olympic team next year in Atlanta. And you may have seen his wife, Sheena Arnold Brewster, playing Pam on the Fox Network sitcom Martin.
Brewster's style reminds me a lot of Ken Norton. He hides behind that right hand, very similar to Ken Norton. And his original trainer was Bill Slayton, who also trained Ken Norton. So I guess that's where that came from. But you can see him take that right hand and put it across his chest on the other side of his face.
Brewster has 2 wins against Nate Jones already, including in the U.S. championships this year in the quarterfinal round. Final seconds of round 1.
Nate had good upper body movement.
In the red with blue headgear is Lamon Brewster from Los Angeles. Nate Jones, his opponent, from Chicago, Illinois. And no points were awarded, or at least registered, shall we say, on the computer by either boxer in round 1. So clearly it's a draw, and we've got 2 rounds to go to settle the semifinalists winner will make it into the championship round. This broadcast presented by authority of the United States Olympic Committee may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the U.S. Olympic Committee. Jones in blue, Brewster in red, heavyweights. Remember, in this amateur competition, there is a super heavyweight category as well. We just saw in the last fight, Thomas Martin upset the U.S. national champion, Lawrence Clay Bay. This is the heavyweight division. They must make the 201-pound limit. And both came in at 200.
And I pointed out last round that both of these fighters fight in a professional style. They look to land a big punch. That's not very good in the amateurs when it comes to winning fights. And they both pitched a shutout in the first round. So according to the scoring, nobody landed a punch. That's kind of difficult.
Doug Emery is the referee from Lincoln, Nebraska. Brewster throwing that jab out there, but Jones able to block it.
Again, Tim, I mentioned this. Brewster has the same style as Ken Norton, where he puts that right hand across his chest. That leaves him vulnerable for a left hook. And that's why he always gave Ali so much trouble, because that's the one punch that Ali could not throw was a left hook. Or at least not that he couldn't throw it, he just did not want to expose himself. So he never really threw those left hooks, especially underneath.
Under a minute to go here in round number 2. Brewster, some scoring punches in that last flurry. See if they made the computer. Both fighters are a little cautious here. Have been right from the outset.
Combination by Jones.
Landing.
That may have won the round to him.
Could be. Now there comes Brewster back to body and head with a combination. Both took under and over. Final seconds of round number 2. Like a chess match here for Jones and Brewster.
What y'all don't understand, amateur fighting is different from pro fighting. Like body punches didn't count.
Well, I'm sure the boxers wouldn't agree with it, but it sounds like a Copa America
they're looking at
a soccer
scoring
score.
shots.
1-1 after 2 rounds between Nate Jones and Lamon Brewster, and the
Like
referee,
arm shots,
Doug Emery, wanted the trunk
head
pulled up a
shots.
little higher than Nate Jones' fashion statement of having him over his knees and below his belt.
Tim in the corner between rounds, between the first and the second round.
Now that's changed now.
More punches in the corner, shadow boxing in front of Brewster, telling him what to do.
That's why they're
Both these
saying they're
guys have
fighting
got
in
it.
pro style.
They each, remember, they fought 2 rounds, and according to the scoring system, they've each landed 1 punch. Now, if you want to start saying what's wrong with this kind of system, there's a good yardstick to look at.
Well, again, just for those of you who may have joined us along the way here today, there are 5 judges. They each have a computer box in front of them with a button for each fighter. They attempt to register a scoring blow as they see it from the white portion of the gloves. That must land in the scoring area. That's the body and the head, not below the belt, of course. And each one that's registered has to be by 3 judges within a second of the other for it to show up on the computer run. And if it does show up that way, then it is officially a point scored for one particular boxer. So you do get these kind of aberrational numbers, and as Bill Clancy and I made clear, it's certainly not our favorite system of scoring. But the reason that it came in was because there was clearly some political overtones in international competition, some horrible decisions, the most obvious one being the one that cost Roy Jones a chance at an Olympic medal, American Roy Jones. And since that time, USA Boxing has tried to come up with something that would prevent prejudicial scoring in international competition, and it has now been used in other countries and international events, this computer scoring. So sorry for the long-winded explanation, but if you're wondering what we're talking about, that's it. Halfway through the final round to settle this heavyweight semifinal, Lamon Brewster and Nate Jones were dead even at 1 point apiece after 2 rounds.
Good left hook to the body by Brewster. I don't see how anybody could miss that, Tim.
We've scored 2 rounds for Lamon Brewster, but they have been close. And that's our subjective professional style scoring. And both the boxers seem intent on pulling their trunks down in this fight. Lamon Brewster certainly would be the favorite here in this fight as the U.S. champion, winning the title in April, stopping decisioning Raynon Woods in the finals. Nate Jones is the National Golden Glove champion this year. Both look a little frustrated here in the third round.
I would be too.
And there's Brewster trying to get some point scoring flurries going, and here to get a number of punches in the scoring area. Brewster in the red, Jones in blue. Final seconds of the bout. And the corner's yelling, "Get busy." Brewster's corner, and that brought the caution from the referee, Doug Emery. No coaching is allowed from the corner during the bout, only between rounds. So that was somewhat lackluster heavyweight semifinal. One of these will advance to the championship, and the fight would be decided in this final round. They were 1-1 after 2. Some action here from the third round.
You can see some of these punches landing, Tim. I mean, altogether, the way this scoring's been going, nothing
Well,
happened.
some of them were scored in the third round. Let's get the decision.
Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, by a score of 6-2, Lamon Brewster, blue corner.
And it is Lamon Brewster getting the decision over Nate Jones and advancing to the heavyweight final. And we'll be back with more boxing from the Olympic Sports Festival in a moment.
So when we start seeing those bouts take place, and we see like how that fight went, 6-2 was a complete robbery. That was not a 6-2 fight. But when the scores came out, it was 6-2. So it shows you sometimes the judges and what they seen, and now it's more modified, but back then it was incredibly crazy. As you can see the look on Nate's face, 6-2. What we saw was a close fight. There's no way that could have been 6-2. And both of these brothers, and right now they are brothers, they communicate, they got each other's numbers. I was there when Brewster won the heavyweight title, when he scored the knockout. Met him at Bernard Hopkins' fight. And I'm like, there's the champ. I mean, he walked up there and bought his own ticket. What is the last turn of events that people would know about? Well, that's just how the scenarios go, man. This was a chess match. And in a pro fight, this would have probably went a lot of different ways, but they were both fighting a pro style. Nate was using a lot of pull counters, some sneaky lead right hands, letting him fall into a shot, keeping the punches short, letting Brewster use his aggression against him. Let him run into something. Let him run into a short, straight, strong right, to get his attention. So you can see how amateur scoring is very iffy. And the way they can dictate who wins, who loses. You're going to have those decisions that don't go your way. What you can't let that do is make you implode. There's no strenuous weight loss program you ever have to go through in your life like the amateurs. Amateurs is where it is the worst of the worst because you got to make weight every day. It's like you're on weight every day, especially if you fight in a tournament, you're fighting 2-3 times in the weekend. They're going to weigh you in, then they got to weigh you in again, then they got to weigh you in again. It's a strenuous process. Oh, man, it was wild to sit there and watch a situation go left the way that it did. It was like, damn, what we watching? It was like that bad. Like we saw the fight, we were thinking like, okay, maybe 5-4. I was thinking Nate won. I was like, oh, he won, especially in the last round. With the clear shots, with the counter left hook, right hand. There's no way Nate lost that. Good. Right there. Counter left. Smother him with the work. 1-2. Pull,
some action
right.
here from
pull.
the third round.
Boop, boop. 1-2. Oh, those are points.
You can see some of these.
That's 3 points right there.
Punches landing, Tim. I mean, altogether, the way this scoring's been going nuts.
Well, some of them were.
So, how are they getting the score they got? It's baffling to me right now. It's real baffling how someone can get that score. So if you're young and you're watching this and you're an amateur fighter and you're going into these tournaments, if the judges don't see it your way, don't implode. That's the message of the day. We've seen amateur fighters because it's stressful. You did all this to make weight and you get here and you get robbed. It's natural to get upset. It's natural you got to weigh in the next day. You still got fights, still got chances. Okay, there's people sitting at home wish they had a chance. You still got a chance. Don't throw away your chances because you're frustrated and you're angry. I've seen this happen. I've seen other fighters do this, and they don't get a chance to go and really fulfill their dreams because one bad decision can lead to a domino effect in your life and everything. I've seen somebody quit boxing because of an amateur fight didn't go his way. And he was ranked like 3rd in the country in his weight class. The country. And he just like, man, F this, man. I don't care. And just quit boxing. You can't let that happen to you. One fighter ate himself out and had to go fight in a higher division than what he was used to. And he ended up going against guys that was much bigger. And he lost in the nationals. He lost in all these amateur bouts. And when he was at the lower weights, his proper weight, he was dominant. But he said he couldn't make the weight no more, which is a lie. He just didn't want to put the work in and the effort. His trainer told me, like, this dude don't even want to run. He's like, he'll go into a fitness center and run on the treadmill, saying, I don't like to run outside. The weather's just, the weather's too tough. It's too cold. I might get a cold sweating out there in the cold in Chicago. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Conditions ain't right. And then he's like, he don't even run like he's supposed to. He'll run for like an hour, stop, talk to somebody. Then he'll do another 30 minutes later on. But he's like, there's no consistent training. It's always breaks in the training. And that's why he ain't like the trainer around. Like, oh, trainer, man, I already did that. Like, we can do our ring stuff. But he don't want the trainer around while he getting himself conditioned. When the trainer's like, all right, I'm gonna need 4. I need 4 points combination. I need 5. Run him off. And he dead tired. I got some it, coach. I don't want to spend it all. That's it, coach. I don't want to spend it all. You're already spending it, son. You gotta buckle down, man. This is what it's about. You want to be great or you want to say you great. There's a difference. The great ones don't have to be told to train. The great ones don't need nobody to wake them up to do the work. They gonna do the work because they want to do the work. They great and they know they got God-given ability, but imagine with the hard work that comes with it. Now, if you got both, you're invincible. You're gonna be in better shape than these guys. You're going to be willing to do way more than these guys. You could push it to the level these guys ain't never seen before because they're not ready for you. They're not ready for you. But you ready for them. Let that sink in. All right, I'm out. That's it for the Nate Jones story today. It's your boy Carcino for life. Don't forget to subscribe to the page. And definitely subscribe to this channel. I'm out.